What if the stranger waiting at the edge of a dusty western town is the only person standing between a woman and the danger that refuses to stop chasing her? The blood on Olivia Thompson's split lip had dried hours ago, long before the stagecoach finally rattled into Willow Creek in the Arizona Territory. The April breeze was soft and gentle on her battered skin, a striking contrast to the pain she carried from Boston. Her stepfather's fists had left deep purple and yellow marks across her ribs and wrists, hidden beneath her sleeves. Every bump of the stagecoach sent a sharp ache spiraling through her body, but she held her bag tight. This was her last chance at a different life. Willow Creek. End of the line, folks. The driver's call rang out as the wheels ground to a stop. Olivia stepped down slowly, careful not to show how much her ribs hurt. The dusty frontier town stretched before her, a single road lined with wooden buildings. It looked rough and lonely, nothing like the brick streets she had known in Boston. A few townspeople glanced her way, their eyes landing on her bruised cheek before they turned aside. She searched the small crowd for the man she had traveled 3 months to marry, Edmund Walker. Tall, broad-shouldered, bearded. That was how he described himself in his letters, the letters that had given her hope when she had none. But no one approached her. Her heart sank. Had he forgotten? Had he seen her wounds and decided he didn't want her after all? Miss Thompson. The voice came from behind her, deep and careful. Olivia turned and found herself looking up at a different man entirely. He was tall but lean, clean-shaven, his skin bronzed from the sun. His eyes were a clear blue, the color of a summer sky, and his dark blonde hair curled beneath his Stetson. "Yes," she whispered. "I'm Olivia Thompson." He removed his hat. "Elijah Hastings, ma'am. I'm afraid I have some difficult news." Her heart lurched. She braced herself. Elijah hesitated before finally saying the words that shattered the fragile hope she'd carried across the country. "Edmund Walker passed away 3 weeks ago. Influenza. Took him fast." The ground tilted beneath her. Her breath caught. Her knees trembled. Edmund was gone. The life she'd been promised vanished in an instant. Olivia swayed, and Elijah stepped forward quickly, his hand steadying her elbow. His touch was gentle but firm. "I'm sorry," he said softly. "Ed was my neighbor and friend. He asked me to meet you if he couldn't." "I see." Her voice shook. "Thank you for telling me. I'll need to figure out how to return east." Return east? To what? To her stepfather's rage? To the marriage she had run from? To the life that nearly broke her? Elijah was still watching her. His eyes traveled over her bruises, and something hardened in his expression. "Miss Thompson," he said quietly, "it appears you might be in some trouble." Her breath caught. "Why would you say that?" "Your injuries," his voice was low, "and the fear in your eyes. If you need a safe place to stay while you sort things out, I can offer you the guest room at my ranch. No strings attached." Quote. She stared at him. She had learned long ago not to trust easily. Why would a stranger help her? "Why?" she whispered. "You don't know me." Elijah met her gaze steadily. "Ed spoke highly of you, said you were strong, said you were brave enough to cross the country for a new life. And my sister Abigail lives with me. You'd have a proper chaperone." Hope flickered faintly inside her, but she had been fooled before. "I can work," she said. "I won't be a burden." His eyes softened. "Never thought you would be." Elijah picked up her small bag as if it weighed nothing and nodded toward the street. "My wagon's just over there. If you want to come with me, we'll head to the ranch. It's about an hour's ride." Town eyes followed them as they walked. A red-haired woman stepped out of the general store, watching them with interest. "That's Marjorie Wilson," Elijah explained. "Town gossip. Word about you will spread fast." "And what will it say?" Olivia asked, her heart tight. "That Ed Walker's mail-order bride arrived too late," Elijah said calmly. And his neighbor took her in. "Folks will talk, but they know better than to cross me." There was something steady and comforting in the quiet confidence of his voice. As the wagon rolled out of Willow Creek, Olivia looked back once. The town grew smaller behind them, but the danger she carried from Boston still pressed heavily on her chest. The road to Elijah's ranch was rough, each jolt reminding her of her bruised ribs. The desert spread wide around them, dotted with sage and mesquite. Mountains rose in the distance like painted shadows. "So," Elijah said gently, "first time out west?" "Yes." She held her shawl tighter. "Everything is so open." "That's why I love it," he said. "Out here, you can leave anything behind. Even the past." Olivia turned her face to the wind, wishing that were true. When they finally reached the Double H Ranch, a modest house, a barn, a garden alive with spring, Olivia felt something she hadn't felt in months. Safety. Or at least the possibility of it. A tall woman stepped out as they arrived. Blonde hair in a neat bun. Practical clothes. A frank, assessing gaze. "That's Abigail," Elijah said. "My sister. She'll make you feel at home." Abigail came forward, her eyes taking in every bruise without flinching. "You must be Miss Thompson," she said. "Welcome to the Double H Ranch." There was no pity in her voice, just simple kindness. Inside, the house was warm, clean, and filled with the smell of stew. They showed her to a quiet room, a bed with soft quilts, a washstand, a window facing the fields. As Olivia sat on the edge of the bed, she felt her defenses weaken. The weight of the past days pressed down on her. Edmund was dead. Her stepfather might still be searching, and she was alone in a strange land. But then Abigail brought her warm water and a small jar of salve, and Elijah's voice echoed softly in her mind. "You're safe at my ranch." She wasn't sure she believed it yet, but for the first time in a long while she dared to hope. Was safety ever real? Or was it only something a woman like Olivia learned to borrow for a moment before the world tried to take it away again? The days that followed brought a quiet rhythm Olivia had never known. Morning light warmed the ranch house, and for the first time in months she woke without fear of footsteps outside her door. Abigail showed her how to gather eggs, knead bread, and tend the small garden. Elijah worked the ranch every day, but was always close enough that Olivia felt protected in a way she couldn't explain. Yet fear still lived in her bones. One afternoon, while kneading dough in the kitchen, Olivia heard Elijah's boots on the porch. She looked up as he entered, but his expression made her heart freeze. "What's wrong?" she asked. Elijah removed his hat slowly. "A man is in Willow Creek asking about you." Her breath vanished. "Who?" "Says his name is Hamilton Davis," Elijah said. "Claims he's your fiancé and that you were kidnapped." The dough slipped from Olivia's hands. Her knees weakened. Hamilton, he had found her. Elijah stepped closer, his voice steady and calm. "Olivia, I need to know the truth. Who is this man?" She swallowed hard. The memories were painful, sharp as broken glass. "He's my stepfather's business partner," she said. "They arranged a marriage between us. I refused. He tried to force me. The bruises, the ones you saw." Her voice broke. "Those were from him." Elijah's jaw tightened with a quiet fury she had never seen in him before. "He did that to you?" She nodded, shame and fear rising. "I fled the night before the wedding. I had nowhere else to go. I answered Edmund's ad because it was the only escape I saw." "And now Davis is here to drag you back," Elijah said, his blue eyes darkening. Olivia wrapped her arms around herself. "He won't stop, Elijah. He never does. You and Abigail are in danger because of me. I should leave." "You're not going anywhere," Elijah said firmly. "I won't let him hurt you again." His certainty steadied her, but fear still twisted in her stomach. Later that day, Elijah saddled his horse. "I'm going to town to learn more," he said. "Abigail knows how to use a rifle. Stay close to her." Olivia watched him ride away, her chest tight with dread. When he returned hours later, the sun was setting and worry had etched lines into his face. "Davis is spreading lies," Elijah said. "He's offering money for information. It won't take long before someone points him here." "What do we do?" Olivia whispered. Elijah looked at her then, really looked at her, the bruises fading on her skin. The quiet strength behind her fear, the courage it took for her to survive what she'd endured. "We make it clear you're under my protection," he said. "Legally." Abigail looked up sharply at that. "Elijah!" He raised a hand to stop her. His voice stayed low and gentle. "I'm suggesting we get married." Olivia's breath caught. "Married? But we barely know each other." "It would be a marriage of convenience," Elijah said. "Only on paper. As my wife, Davis would have no claim on you. There'd be nothing he could do." Abigail set down her sewing. "Elijah, think about this." "I have," he said. "This is the best way to keep her safe." Olivia's thoughts raced. Marriage again. Another union she hadn't chosen. But this time it wasn't a threat. Elijah's offer didn't feel like a cage. It felt like protection. Still, doubt whispered in her heart. "I need time to think," she said softly. "You'll have it," Elijah replied. "Just not much. Davis won't waste time." That night, Olivia lay awake, staring at the ceiling. She replayed every moment since arriving, Elijah's steady kindness, Abigail's quiet support. The ranch that, despite everything, felt like the first place she could belong. But marriage? Even a false one? A soft knock sounded. Abigail entered with a cup of tea and sat beside her. "You don't have to do this," Abigail said gently. "We'll protect you either way." "I don't want him to find me here," Olivia whispered. "You and Elijah have done so much for me." "I can't bring danger to your door." Abigail placed a hand over hers. "You're family now, Olivia. We stand together." The word family broke something inside her. She wiped away tears. "Do you think your brother would regret it?" Olivia asked. "Marrying you?" Abigail smiled softly. "No, Elijah doesn't make promises lightly. And he sees something in you. He won't say it aloud, but I know." Olivia's heart gave a small, painful flutter. The next morning she found Elijah in the kitchen pouring coffee. "Yes," she said. He froze. "Yes? I'll marry you." His shoulders relaxed with relief. "Are you sure?" Quote. "As sure as I can be," Olivia said. "But I have conditions. This must be temporary and honest, and I want to learn to work the ranch, truly work it." A small smile touched Elijah's lips. "Those terms are more than fair. We'll do it your way." By afternoon, word spread that Reverend Collins would perform the ceremony the next morning at the small church in town. Abigail sewed Olivia a simple blue dress. The fabric matched her eyes, Abigail insisted, but fear still clung to Olivia's heart like a shadow. The next day, as she stood at the front of the quiet church, her hands trembling in Elijah's, she wondered if she had made the right choice. Reverend Collins spoke the words. Elijah placed a simple gold band on her finger. Sheriff Taylor signed as a witness. It was official. Mrs. Olivia Hastings. As they stepped out of the church, a hush fell over the street. Hamilton Davis stood across from them, tall, cold, smiling like a man who already believed he'd won. Olivia's heart slammed against her ribs. She gripped Elijah's arm. Hamilton stepped forward. "You're coming with me, Olivia." Before she could speak, Elijah stepped in front of her. "No," he said. "She's my wife." A crowd gathered. Sheriff Taylor moved closer. Hamilton's eyes narrowed. "This isn't over." "We'll see about that," Elijah replied. But even as they walked back to the wagon, Olivia knew Hamilton wasn't finished. Not even close. What if the only way to hold on to the life you've built is to finally stop running from the past that keeps trying to steal it from you? Elijah kept his body close to Olivia as they left the church, shielding her from Hamilton's cold stare. Even as the wagon pulled away, she felt that gaze burning into her back. She held her breath until Willow Creek faded behind them, but the fear stayed lodged in her chest. Once they reached the Double H Ranch, Elijah didn't waste a moment. "We need every bit of protection the law will allow," he said. "Hamilton won't let this go." He was right. 3 days later, just as Olivia began to hope Hamilton had returned east in defeat, a rider approached, carrying a legal document. Elijah opened it at the kitchen table while Olivia and Abigail watched, silent and tense. "It's a petition," Elijah said, his voice tight. "Hamilton is challenging our marriage." Olivia's heart sank. "On what grounds?" "That he had a prior claim on you," Elijah replied. that I coerced you, and that you stole money from him." Olivia felt sick. "That's all lies." "Judge wants us in Prescott next week," Elijah said. "We fight this together." The journey to Prescott took 2 long days across rough ground. Olivia rode beside Elijah on a gentle mare, trying to stay calm, but the fear pressed hard. This wasn't just about marriage anymore. It was about her freedom. Prescott was larger than Willow Creek, with tall buildings and the territorial courthouse looming over the street. Elijah found a lawyer, Mr. Reeves, who listened carefully and agreed to represent them. "He's wealthy, connected, and persuasive," Reeves warned. "But your marriage is legal. That's our strongest point." The hearing was set for the next morning. Olivia barely slept. The courtroom was full when they arrived. Hamilton sat at the front with his slick, confident lawyer. When he turned and saw Olivia on Elijah's arm, his lips curled in a furious smile. The proceedings began with Hamilton's lawyer painting Olivia as a confused young woman who had been tricked, claiming she had run off with money that didn't belong to her. Shock rippled through the room as he described Elijah as a manipulative cowboy who preyed on her vulnerability. Olivia's stomach churned. Then it was their turn. Sheriff Taylor testified that the marriage had been done properly and willingly. Olivia took the stand next. Trembling but determined, she told the judge the truth about her stepfather and Hamilton, the arranged marriage, the beatings, the threats. Some in the courtroom gasped softly. The judge's brow creased as he listened. Finally, Elijah spoke. He stood tall, calm, steady as ever. "I offered her marriage to protect her, yes," he said. "But I also married her because I came to care for her, deeply." Olivia's breath caught. He had said that under oath, in front of everyone. Hamilton's face twisted with rage. After hours of testimony, the judge called a recess. When they returned, he gave his ruling. "The marriage between Elijah and Olivia Hastings is legal and binding," he said. "There is no evidence of coercion. The petition for annulment is denied." Olivia felt her knees weaken with relief, but the judge wasn't done. "As for the financial dispute," he continued, "Mr. Davis may pursue it separately. It does not affect the marriage." Hamilton shot to his feet. "She belongs to me." Judge Harmon slammed his gavel. "Sit down, sir. Women are not property." Outside, Hamilton cornered them near the courthouse steps, his voice low and venomous. "You may have won today," he hissed, "but I'll get what I'm owed." Elijah stepped forward. "Stay away from my wife." Hamilton smirked. "Men like you don't keep what they steal from men like me." Then he rode off. Elijah took Olivia's hand. "Whatever comes next, we face it together." The word "together" calmed the fear twisting inside her. On the journey home, something shifted between them. The silence felt warmer, charged. When they reached the ranch, Elijah paused with her at the hill overlooking the land. "Home," he said softly. She looked at the fields, the barn, the house that had sheltered her. "Yes," she whispered, "home." Life settled back into a gentle rhythm. Olivia worked alongside Abigail, helped Elijah with the herd, and slowly learned to ride confidently. Evenings were spent talking on the porch or listening to Abigail read aloud. Weeks passed with no word from Hamilton, and the shadows around Olivia's heart began to fade. Then, one warm evening in late June, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Elijah brought 2 glasses of lemonade to the porch. "Thought you might be thirsty," he said. He sat beside her, the quiet stretching between them in a comfortable way. Olivia watched the sky turn gold and pink. "Elijah," she said softly. "Yes? These months, you've given me peace I never thought I'd have." He leaned his elbows on his knees. "I've been wanting to ask you something." Her breath caught. "What is it?" Quote. He turned to her, the honesty in his eyes so deep it made her chest ache. "Would you consider making our marriage real?" Olivia's heart pounded, "But I thought it was temporary." "It was meant to be," Elijah said quietly. "But I don't want temporary anymore. I want you, if you want me too." Emotion tightened her throat. She looked at the man who had saved her without asking for anything in return. "I do," she whispered. "I want a real marriage." Relief and joy transformed his face. He reached for her gently, giving her every chance to pull away. She didn't. Their kiss was slow at first, then full of the love they had been too cautious to name. From that night on, they were husband and wife in every sense. Months passed. Olivia blossomed with happiness. The ranch thrived. Abigail stayed close, teasing them gently but proud of the life her brother had built. Then, one morning in early October, a letter arrived addressed to Olivia in handwriting she recognized instantly. Her stepfather. With trembling hands, she opened it. Hamilton Davis had died. A riding accident. Instant. Final. Her stepfather wrote that the financial issue was closed and that the money she fled with had always been her mother's inheritance. He wished her well. Her past was over. Olivia sat down hard at the table, tears streaming, relief and sorrow tangled inside her. Elijah knelt beside her. "It's over," he whispered. "You're free." She fell into his arms, shaking with emotion. "We can live now," she cried. "Truly live." And they did. By early spring, Olivia discovered she was expecting their first child. Elijah's joy was overwhelming. He lifted her, spun her gently, kissed her until she laughed. Their daughter, Eleanor, was born on a bright August morning, strong and beautiful. Elijah wept when he first held her. Over the years, the ranch grew. Their family grew. Eleanor was followed by sons named James and William, and later a little girl named Grace. Abigail married and lived nearby, visiting often. On quiet evenings, Olivia sat on the porch with Elijah, his arm warm around her shoulders. The sunset painted the sky, and their children's laughter drifted through the air. "You ever regret it?" she asked once, "offering marriage to a stranger with a bruised face?" Elijah kissed her temple. "I regret that you were hurt, but I will never regret you. You were the beginning of everything good." Olivia rested her head on his shoulder, tears of gratitude filling her eyes. "You said I was safe in your arms," she whispered. And I was. And for the rest of her days, she remained safe, cherished, and deeply loved in the shelter of the cowboy who chose her, not out of duty, but out of a love that grew stronger with every sunrise on the western horizon.